The Emperor's New Clothes. The emperor, a ruler of great wealth and influence, cared little for governing and instead fixated on his appearance. His wardrobe, filled with silks and jewels, was the envy of all neighboring kingdoms. Every hour of his day was dedicated to changing outfits and flaunting his finery, leaving matters of state neglected. Despite his wealth, he constantly sought something new to amaze his people, proving his taste and superiority. One day, two cunning strangers arrived in the city, posing as master weavers. They claimed to possess a rare skill, the ability to create fabrics so exquisite that only the wise and capable could see them. The news of their unique craft reached the emperor, who was instantly intrigued. Certain that such clothes would enhance his prestige, he summoned the weavers to his court. The swindlers appeared before the emperor, bowing low and weaving an intricate tale of their magical fabric. They promised garments that would not only dazzle the eye but also reveal the foolish and incompetent. The emperor, blinded by vanity, immediately commissioned the weavers to create a magnificent outfit, sparing no expense. The swindlers were given gold, jewels, and silk to begin their work. The swindlers set up looms in a grand hall, pretending to weave the invisible fabric. They worked tirelessly, often pretending to inspect the threads and adjusting imaginary patterns. Courtiers and servants peeked into the room but saw nothing. Fearing they might be judged as foolish, they all praised the incredible work in hushed tones, adding to the emperor's excitement. The emperor sent his most trusted minister to check on the progress of the magical outfit. The minister, though skeptical, could not see a thing on the loom. Terrified of appearing unfit for his position, he admired the fabric and described its beauty in glowing terms to the emperor. The swindlers smiled, pleased that their trick was working perfectly. Word of the magical cloth spread quickly through the kingdom. Nobles and townsfolk whispered of its brilliance, each pretending they too could see it. The excitement grew, and the emperor's anticipation reached new heights. Everyone eagerly awaited the day of the parade, certain it would be a spectacle unlike any other. Growing impatient, the emperor sent another official to check the progress. Like the first, this courtier saw nothing but air on the loom. Embarrassed and afraid of being called a fool, he returned to the emperor with extravagant praise. The swindlers, growing richer by the day, feigned exhaustion from their hard work. Unable to contain his curiosity, the emperor visited the workshop himself. He stood before the looms, staring at the empty space where the fabric should have been. Though his heart sank, he convinced himself he must not admit his ignorance. Instead, he praised the craftsmanship and encouraged the swindlers to finish quickly. At last, the day of the grand parade arrived. The swindlers presented the emperor with his new clothes, pretending to drape the invisible garments over him. They praised how light and comfortable the outfit was, perfect for such a grand occasion. The emperor admired himself in the mirror, pretending to see his reflection in the non-existent attire. The emperor paraded through the streets, confident that his new outfit would amaze his people. The townsfolk, too scared to admit the truth, applauded and cheered, praising the beauty of his clothes. Whispers of awe rippled through the crowd, though no one could see the fabric. The emperor beamed with pride, soaking in their admiration. Suddenly, a young child in the crowd shouted, "But he isn't wearing anything at all." The crowd fell silent, and the truth spread like wildfire. One by one, the people began laughing, unable to keep up the pretense any longer. The emperor, though mortified, continued walking, unwilling to admit his error. As the laughter grew, the emperor felt his confidence shatter. For the first time, he realized how his vanity had blinded him to reason. His cheeks burned with embarrassment, but he resolved to finish the procession, clinging to the last shreds of his dignity. The townsfolk's laughter echoed through the square, a harsh reminder of his folly. Meanwhile, the swindlers packed their treasures and disappeared into the night. Their deception had worked perfectly, leaving them rich beyond imagination. They chuckled at the thought of their success, vowing to repeat their trick elsewhere. The kingdom, however, would not soon forget their mischief. The next morning, the emperor gathered his court and confessed his mistake. "I was blinded by pride and foolishness," he admitted. "From this day on, I will focus on being a better ruler." His words carried a sincerity that surprised even the most loyal of his ministers. The ministers, moved by the emperor's humility, promised to help him govern wisely. They admitted their own faults in enabling his obsession. Together, they resolved to rebuild the kingdom's governance with fairness and integrity. The court felt a newfound sense of purpose. The townspeople, too, forgave the emperor, appreciating his honesty and willingness to change. They celebrated with a festival, expressing hope for a brighter future. The kingdom felt united in a way it hadn't in years. Laughter and joy filled the streets, marking a new chapter. The emperor commissioned a simple but elegant outfit to symbolize his transformation. When he appeared in public wearing it, the people cheered not for the clothes but for the man he had become. His humility became a beacon of hope for the kingdom. The emperor began focusing on his people's needs, investing in schools and helping the poor. His new priorities endeared him to his subjects, who finally saw him as a true leader. The kingdom flourished under his care. The story of the emperor's folly spread far and wide, becoming a lesson for all. It taught the dangers of vanity and the importance of truth. Parents shared the tale with their children, ensuring its wisdom would endure. Far away, the swindlers tried their scheme again but were quickly exposed. Chased out of town, they fled into obscurity. Their greed ultimately led to their ruin, a fitting end to their tale. The emperor continued to rule with wisdom and compassion, earning the love and respect of his people. His transformation was a testament to the power of humility and self-awareness. The kingdom prospered under his care. And so, the story of the emperor's new clothes became a timeless parable. It reminded all who heard it that honesty and humility are worth far more than appearances. In the end, the kingdom thrived, and the emperor's name was remembered with fondness and respect.